from American Aborigines Unchained here on YouTube and Facebook. Um, and just real quick, I have about 15 minutes today. I wanted to just go over something that I'm cleaning out my phone. There's like 3 or 4 years worth of information on there, but it's coming to a time where it's starting to affect the way that my phone is working. And I've already lost one phone that was about 4 or 5 years full of information before and was pissed. So again, it just so happens that now I've had the phone for so long, I took the insurance off. So now it wants to start acting up, right? So anyhow, and it's my fault because I do have a lot of stuff on there. Um, it says that there's over 9,999 images, so that's a lot. So anyhow, uh what was I going to say? So I'm actually dumping some of the most of this stuff on my platforms, and then I'm deleting them as I go. So even if I need to get it off, if I still have an account, the way things are going, who knows what, when, and where, right? So anyhow, at least getting them off my phone, and then I'm gonna maybe try to download some into a hard drive or something. Who knows? I need something that has like a lifeline of information or space for images. That's what I need. Or maybe I'll just start printing some. But anyhow, that's not what we're talking about here. So again, welcome back to the channel. Just for those that want to take the title and go, it's American Antiquities and Research into the Origins and History of the Red Race by Alexander Bradford. Now, I know some of us have run into History of Red Race and everything books or whatever, but this was a part that I thought, I would like share. Okay, so this is a book share. So anyhow, let's go ahead and go into it right here, I guess. So one of the learned authors above cited has perhaps, sorry, I thought that was the baby crying, succeeded in rendering it highly probable that the physical characteristics of the African nations display themselves under a relation to climate. And then it has this little cross here, which means that this is probably the reference here that you can go and see. And I guess this is saying this is where it's controverted. Okay, and it says, but the force of this argument is broken upon examining into the climate situation of the races in the other countries. So they're saying the races that are in the other countries. Okay, and I think book is from 1840 something, possibly. Okay, don't quote me. Okay. So, and again, they're going to always have different versions of it that came later. I like to go back to the first one because, again, what do people really do when they go into books and edit it? Is there something in there that someone wouldn't like to see in there that may be given too much information and they took it out? Again, this is just how I like to operate. Okay. So I like to look for the oldest version. Okay. So it says in Europe, where a gradually increase. Okay. A gradual increase in the darkness of the complexion is endeavored to be traced as we proceed southwardly. Okay, so as they go to the south, they're seeing the darkness of the complexion. But again, what is darkness? Are we talking about pale? See? Or are we talking about what they want you to think darkness means today? Okay, because of course we're talking about darkness, not energy or frequency, like not energy or spiritual darkness, but it's saying that we're talking about complexion. Okay, so we still find the original distinctive characteristics of different races retaining a permanence in various regions, whether they have migrated, notwithstanding the climate in locality and the lapse of time. So generations of mixing or breeding or splicing, or flooding or watering or cultivating or irrigating the land, which is the people, which is the earth, which is the original people. Okay. And how they were able to get so many different subgroups and races is from the origin. Even Europeans at one time, we find books that say that they were a darker view. It was more about the features in the face, the nose, and things like this that made them that European. Okay. So it says the Laplanders, though far to the north, are darker than the Germans and betray a Mongolian origin in their swarthy color. The nations of German origin in Great Britain are still contrasted with those of Celtic descendants. The Normans of France preserve marks of their foreign origin in their aspect and features. So, again, they're having certain marks that are still around. And again, when you go to different countries like Germany and all these other things, some of them still, although we may get certain perceptions of them from the small amount of information that we get about how they treat their so called people of color. But is of color colorless? Again, so who are we speaking about? Okay. So, aspect and features. But again, we do see some monuments still left that have these dark colored people with tobacco skirts and things like this. Okay. Where in America, they left none. Again, but there was a Egyptian type of people, Ethiopian, a Nubian. They try to say that all these people came in at some point in time, like Native Americans and all this stuff. But some of this stuff, and again, I'm pretty sure that these things were created over time. But let's not forget that there was already people keep on and I'm with some groups of people that's speaking on this, but you keep saying that Africans, even they came before Columbus, is speaking of Africans. That's still a discourse, because that was actually speaking about original. They're actually leaving out the fact. We'll say that because we don't know if that's what they're speaking of. They could be speaking of these people and just trying to, and they may be telling the truth. But if we're talking about the origin of darker pigmented people in America, they were here. All life didn't start in Africa. I want somebody to just actually prove that to me and wonder why, again, the African American, so-called, is the only one that holds on to that myth. And then the Africans that deal with African Americans showing a sense of pride, or that they're over them because they're there and they got to keep the culture. To me, it's seeming like, again, we're talking about Sierra Leone and Liberia. We know that they took Aborigines over there, okay, to form other republics or whatnot. Okay, so again, who knows who else they took over there? And if you look at Africa now, again, the middle section of Africa is the only part that we see that really has a really green area. Everything else, north and south, seems to be, not as green, right? And then we think of where most of the darker hue so-called Africans are. It's in the middle portion, that widest point of Africa, that they reside in. They don't really claim, those people that are even still there today don't really claim to be from any other portions of that land, but there. They have South Americans that say that, but those South Americans to me look very Asian influenced. Again, what are we really talking about here? Because all of the deeply rooted ancient tribes seem to have Asian features in Africa. The ones that are in Nigeria and stuff like that, they may be coming towards a little bit more looking like American Aborigines. So again, maybe that's a mixture of these groups. Maybe not, but I'm just saying that the deeper rooted people that they do not show us on a regular basis have Asian feet. They are basically Chinese people with dark skin. So if China had its own stock of original people, what happened to those people? Are those the people that are now intertwined with other groups of people that were dropped off in Africa? Okay. So it wouldn't make any sense for us to keep saying that this is the most prosperous, this is when they didn't even try to do anything over there until the 1800s, where they've been over here since the 1607, trying to plant their roots in the soil. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. No other landmass compares to the Americas in my eyes. And that's not even me just being biased. It just, why is everybody coming here then? Okay. So, anyhow, so it says darker Germans, whatever, blah, 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 the Celtic descent. And the Normans of France preserve marks of their foreign origin. So again, these are talking about the Normans of France preserving their marks. Okay. What kind of mark are we talking about? Mark of Cain, mark of the beast, mark features. So their foraging. Oh my God, I'm trying to rush y'all. The foreign origin in their aspect and features. Okay, so in their aspect and features. In Asia, we find copper colored nations in the northern part of Siberia where they have existed beyond historical memory. Okay, so again, there you go. You have your copper colored people that were there prior to. Okay, even when I think about the Mongolian people, I think another one that we're not mentioning, uh, gee, it's not Tibetan, Mandarin, Mandarin. I think I sense some of that when I'm doing my research and some of these people that actually were here or brought here. Okay. So anyway, we're going to keep on going. In India, okay. Now again, are we talking India? Because again, when so-called Colombo came here, he said that he thought he was in India. Well, we have that map that I think I shared with you guys already that shows America as India. So at what point in time did he change his thoughts from being in India to somewhere else? That's something to be wondering about because they could have been calling this India for 10, 20 years before they realized that it was something else. And so all of it, like Hindustan and stuff like that, keeps standing out to me. So again, what are they hiding underneath that umbrella? Okay. So it says, yeah, in India, while some of the inhabitants have light, transparent brown complexion, other tribes occupy mountainous countries are characterized by a dark hue, sorry, approaching to black. And we have this thing here. So this is where you will go reference this information for Asiatic researchers. Okay. Under the full fervor of a tropical sun, a fair complexion may be perceived among the Sumatrans, or I was thinking Sumerians. Okay. And irrefragable proof, says Mr. Marsden, that the difference in color and the difference in inhabitant of the earth, see, the difference in the different inhabitants. So inhabitants is also somebody that has been brought in. Okay. Okay. Of the earth. Again, are we talking of the earth itself? Offspring, indigenous? Are we talking native? What are we talking about? Because it's already saying that they were brought in, but from where? From other portions of the earth. See, like the earth of America, which means the original first peoples before the creation story that were here. Okay, is not in the immediate effect of climate in the islands of the Indian. And so again, here's this other thing about Mars then or whatever. It's saying the children of Europeans born in this island. So that's them planting their seed. That's seamen planting their seed in nations, are as fair as those born in the country of their parents. I have observed the same of the second generation. Again, here we go. I didn't even know we were going to go here. Of the second generation, when a mixture of the people of the country has been avoided. Okay. On the other hand, the offspring, yes, see what we're doing right here. Okay. The offspring and all the descendants of the Guinea. Okay. I don't know if that's talking about Guinea at some point in time, but again, it may be something totally different. And other African slaves imported there. Okay. And again, are we talking about the North Africans that are paler skin? Are we talking about or Southern Africans that are supposedly white? Or what are we talking about here? Okay. So it says imported there. Continue in the last instance as perfectly black as the original stock. Okay. So again, here we go talking about stock. Okay. So let's keep on going because I think I didn't get to what I wanted to get to and I have to go. The Pacific Ocean not only is the same fact observable, but there are appearances of a race approaching the Negro and wholly distinct from the tribes of lighter hue and occupy extreme regions under the 44th degree of south latitude. The black races who have been considered the Aborigines have occupied the middle and mountainous parts of many islands, leaving the coast and plains to their fairer race. In America, where more than in where more than in any other portion of the globe, a satisfactory solution of this question might be anticipated. Okay? In consequence of the isolated situation of the continent and the consequent escape from intermarriage. See, and this is what I'm talking about. This is not talking about a man and a woman from a different tribe getting. This is also talking about locking together to fight against enemies, locking together because again they agree on certain things, certain things. Other tribes could have come from somewhere else, and they didn't want to mix their blood with these people. This was something that they did not allow. Okay, so we're talking about we're bringing in. So intermarriage with other races. They didn't want to mix. The facts are still more decisive. All the Americans are generally distinguished by the same prominent physical peculiarities. Y'all know I have a hard time with that one. In a country stretching from the Arctic region of the 55th degree of south latitude, this uniformity is exceedingly remarkable. The difference in complexion that do exist are opposed to the opinion that the scale of complexion is graduated accordingly to the distance from the equatorial regions. Okay, thus in the neighborhood of the Esquimaux, okay, there are tribes of deep copper color, while the fairest hues of the skin are found in the tropical countries of South America. Okay, let's see. And at the remotest extremity of the continent, the copper complexion again characterized the Fuegians, okay, the Indian of New Spain, okay, so again, this has already been flooded, okay, says Humboldt, has a more swarthy complexion than the inhabitants of the warmer climates of South America, okay. We found the people of Rio Negro swarthier than those of the lower Orinoco, and yet the banks of the first of these rivers enjoy a much cooler climate than the more northern regions. We everywhere perceive that the color of the American depends on very little with the local position in which we see him in. Okay, so again, we're going to go ahead and stop there. Very interesting indeed. Let's I'm just going to drop that here since this was just a book share. Something is on the tip of my tongue I want to say, but I do have to go. So again, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up, please, if you like, and to share the information. And then join us in the Facebook group American Aborigines Unchained. Who knows how long we'll have these platforms to be able to share information. So I'll see you guys soon. Take care.